If you enjoy the topics and videos you see here on Power of Thought, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It would really help to support us. No one can construct for you the bridge upon which precisely you must cross the stream of life. No one but you yourself alone. We are often led to believe we have a place we're meant to be, a story to be lived out, or something we are simply born to do. The problem is, we have absolutely no clue what that is. Sure, some people seem to fall into their passion with ease, having discovered it and been encouraged to pursue it from very early in life. But for the vast majority of us, this is not the case. The rest of us are bombarded daily with false signals. From religion to politics to advertisements, we are told the same thing, that they have what we have been looking for, that they have the faith, cause, product, or lifestyle that has been calling our name, and they are here to show us the way. Sadly, for most people, all that awaits them on the other side of a recruitment commercial or sales pitch is another tough-to-swallow pill filled with disappointment. You may have even thought you knew what your passion was, because someone told you should do it, or a personality test lumped you into a preset category, only to make a career out of it and now find yourself counting the days until the weekend. Or maybe you find yourself frustrated and feeling left out because, while you would love to go all in on that passion that you care so much about, the world has never revealed to you what that thing is. So you are denied the very opportunity to be one of those people, and this can feel incredibly unfair. This can make us feel like life is simply not really in our control, and that the best we can do in this life is get by and maybe have a little fun while we're here. While there's nothing wrong with finding happiness in the small things in life, we deny ourselves the most unique and beautiful thing this life has to offer, our freedom. When we think the world is too big for us and our actions have too little impact, we invite anxiety, mediocrity, and stagnation into our lives. We adopt the opinions of others, emulate the expressions of others, and keep our lives predictable and simple to avoid being reminded of how incredible the world is and feel bad about not thrusting ourselves into it. Ironically, the first step to overcoming this is to realize how absurd it all is. For as 20th century writer and philosopher Albert Camus once said, "For the absurd man, it is not a matter of explaining and solving, but of experiencing and describing. Everything begins with lucid indifference." Our lives begin, write their pages, and end in the absurd. Our politics is absurd. Our tax system is absurd. Our wars are absurd. Our education system is absurd. Our friendships, desires, hatred, fears, tears, all of it is absurd when you stop and think about it for even a moment. The second we let go of this or that opinion or prideful assumption, we realize how ridiculous it all is. But just a little bit after that, if you just keep thinking about it, you'll start to see how absolutely magnificent it all is. The fact that on this tiny rock floating in infinite empty space, a rock that formed out of dead stars, asteroids, and cosmic collisions eventually gave rise to this incredibly unique thing, that a you was created out of all of this absurd, purposeless mess. You would think that this would make us feel insignificant and uncomfortable in the face of an existence with no plan and endless possibilities. But that is exactly what makes it so beautiful. That is exactly where you will finally see the one simple truth of this life, that your life is completely in your hands. Whatever hand you were dealt, whatever setback or leg down compared to everyone else that this indifferent and absurd universe handed you, you can still become something amazing in it. And that there are no mistakes in this life except believing that life is for someone or something else other than what you want it to be for. To think that you need to live up to this or that expectation, to follow this leader or that cause, or like this musician or work that job, is to fall prey to the absurd instead of embracing and overcoming it. The amount of time we are on this rock floating through space is a blink to the universe, like a single bubble in a boiling pot of water. So the worst thing you could do is take it too seriously and not sit back and enjoy the sheer absurdity of it. To not let yourself feel the wonder, beauty, hilarity, and vast array of things that this life has to offer if you would just thrust yourself into it. Because as 20th century French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Better to die on one's feet than to live on one's knees." This might seem daunting, and if you don't have anything you want to commit yourself to, how do you know what to do? Well, After you have accepted and embraced the absurdity of it all, you need to decide what bits of life you do take seriously and what you find beautiful, ugly, true, false, and most importantly, what you find worthy of loving deeply. Because how could we ever know if we were truly doing something for the right reason if we still valued the popular opinions over our own? How can you pick that new career, start that business, or move to that new city if you can't figure out why it would even make you happy? That's why it is so important to figure out who you really are first, not the persona you've constructed to navigate social events, impress people, or avoid uncomfortable situations. The real you, because no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. We can't sit here and tell you what your path is. We can't offer you some 10 steps gimmick about how to find yourself. We can only help you access that first truth in life, that this life is purely up to you. We can only tell you that you are special, not because you have this or that trait, but because you alone can forge your life into whatever you want, into whatever your true self wants to put out into the world during the short but magnificent blink of life. For man alone of all creatures of earth can change his own pattern. Man alone is the architect of his own destiny.